I'll never forget me, this arrogant, full of myself Yale law student knocking on the door of the tenant president of the project saying, "Ma'am, I'm here to help you. I'm Cory Booker." And she looked at me like, "Boy, you're the one that needs some help." And here's this woman that will never appear in the history books, but she brought me down to the floor of the building, through the courtyard, into Martin Luther King Boulevard, this street with a legendary name, and she wheels around. This elderly woman looks up at me and she says, "Boy, before you can help me, you got to tell me what you see." And I said, "What are you talking about?" She goes, "Tell me about the street, the community. What do you see?" And I described what Martin Luther King Boulevard looked like back in the 1990s. I talked about the crack house on the street and the projects. I described what I saw, the drug dealing, and the more I talked, the more upset this woman looked. And suddenly she says, "Boy, you can't help me." And she wheels around and starts walking away from me, and I'm confused. What does she mean? I ran after her and I grabbed her from behind, very respectfully, mind you. And I said, "What are you talking about, ma'am? I don't understand." And she goes, "Boy, you need to understand something. That the world you see outside of you is a reflection of what you have inside of you. If you're one of these people who only sees problems and darkness and despair, that's all there's ever going to be. But if you're one of these stubborn people who every time you open your eyes, you see hope, you see possibility, you see love, you see the face of God, then you can be someone who helps me." You all in this state knew that if it is to be, it is up to me, and that's what I celebrate right now. And this is what our country must have going forward. I call upon everyone here to continue the work. You heard it from my colleague, Jean Shaheen. You heard it from Maggie. You know the work we have ahead of us, because we all know change isn't made in one little fell swoop. It's not a light switch that you bend on and off. Martin Luther King said those things at the end of a speech of a march from over the Edmund Pettus Bridge. When they finally made it over, he talked about how long it would take to make justice happen. He said, "How long? Not long. Because truth crushed to the earth will rise again. How long? Not long, because no lie can live forever. Ever. How long? Not long, because the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice." Don't let anybody tear you down to hate. Don't let darkness make you dark. This is the time that we must see each other. We must elevate each other. We must love each other. And we must fight together, not against anyone, but for each other. And if we live like that, and if we love like that, if we serve like that, if we sacrifice for that, this will not be the last victory for New Hampshire. This will not be the last victory for the state of New Hampshire or our country. We will elevate this nation not to partisan victories, but for a victory for all, so that we truly live the calling of our foundation, that we will be one day a nation of liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Go New Hampshire Dems. Thank you.